Suzuki Motorcycles this week launched the Gixxer 155cc motorcycle, positioning it as a street sport bike. Inspired by the bigger GSX range of superbikes, the Gixxer is expected to provide the much-needed adrenaline rush to the commuter bike segment with its spirited performance and meant for all those who love their motorcycles to look like a bigger and more expensive sports bike and at the twist of the throttle unleash excitement. The Gixxer churns out a little over 14 PS as peak power, and in terms of fuel efficiency, the company claims figures of over 63 kilometers to a litre, and this is a machine which is meant to optimize performance with fuel efficiency. With its launch, Suzuki has added to its offerings in India in the smaller commuter bike segment, and the Gixxer is expected to compete with the likes of the Yamaha FC and the Honda CBR 150.
Wonderful to leave Mumbai, but what makes this trip extra special is the season. It's the end of the monsoon, and as soon as you hit the highway, you're greeted by these lush green fields, which I just love. Now today I'm actually going to a destination that's green and beautiful throughout the year, but in the monsoon it is spectacular. It's just a 2-hour drive away, and the name of the place, when translated into English, means forest on the forehead. Let's see if you can guess where I'm going. In the meantime, I'm going to start to drive. I bet you've guessed by now that it's Matheran I'm driving to. I've been told that it's the perfect weekend getaway, and I can't wait to be at this lovely scenic hill station. I have this wonderful Hyundai Elite i20 to take me there, and it's just this lovely little hatchback with all the features you can imagine. For example, the automatic climate control here is a very useful feature. It just maintains the temperature once set, so you don't have to keep fiddling with the knobs. And the leather-wrapped steering feels great to hold, and with these multifunction buttons located so conveniently, everything's right at my fingertips. And it's features like these that make this car such a pleasure to drive.
Matheran is situated around 90 kilometers from Mumbai. After you exit the city and take the Mumbai-Pune Expressway, the traffic finally starts thinning out and the drive becomes quite nice. The trick to beat the traffic is to leave early in the morning. This is exactly what I did, and I am making good time. Now as you approach Matheran, the scenery becomes prettier and prettier. Lush green fields and rolling hills start making their appearance, and soon you're surrounded by their beauty.
The Elite i20 is also available in a diesel version, but what I'm driving today is the 1.2-litre petrol, and it's very quiet and very smooth, yet it has more than enough power to make overtaking on the highways a breeze. That's what makes this car just perfect for long drives.
But before I set about exploring Matheran, let me share an interesting fact. Matheran is Asia's only automobile-free hill station. Having been declared an eco-sensitive region by the Union Environment Ministry, the only form of automobile allowed in Matheran is an ambulance operated by the municipality. No private automobiles are allowed. So I'm going to have to trade my car in for a horse or a hand-pulled rickshaw, or the toy train which runs up from Neral to Matheran, a distance of 21 kilometers, regularly taking tourists all the way up on what is a very scenic route. Now that I have parked my car and I'm about to enter Matheran, it's my turn to board the train and take in a bit of the charming landscape.
Coming to Matheran is like taking a trip back in time. This train is over 107 years old and it's still so quaint and charming, functions as one of the primary ways that people get around in this hill station. And it provides the most beautiful views of Matheran and really sets the tone for what lies ahead. So I can't wait to explore. After a short but enjoyable drive and a charming little train ride, I've reached Matheran. And I think my journey has really set the tone for what lies ahead. An abundance of natural beauty. I can't wait to explore, so I'm off.
Matheran, with its rambling forests and stunning landscape, was a popular resort destination during the British rule. So the town's beautiful architecture and quaint old railway have a distinctly colonial feel. The roads aren't paved, they're simply exposed strips of earth. The same red laterite earth that make up the rust-coloured mountains that surround you. There are approximately 38 designated lookout points in Matheran that provide breathtaking views of the forested mountains and valleys. I'm going to check out some of the best ones.
While I love cars and I so enjoyed driving the Hyundai i20 Elite from Mumbai to Matheran, I do think it's wonderful that there are no automobiles allowed within the hill station because these winding forest trails are perfect for long walks through the red mud and the mossy velvet grass that the monsoon has revived. I'm at the beautiful Charlotte Lake. Now this is Matheran's primary source of drinking water. So no boating, fishing or swimming is allowed on the lake to retain the purity of the water. On one end there's this dam and these gushing waterfalls are created because of it right till the end of the cliff. It becomes a really popular tourist spot during the monsoon. As in most hill stations, in Matheran too, there are many beautiful viewing points from which you can take in the surrounding scenery. Now I'm here at Echo Point, and as you can see, the beautiful mist is sort of shrouding itself over the green hills and the waterfalls cascading below. It's truly a spectacular view and a must visit if you're in Matheran. You've guessed by now how this point got its name. It's really popular among tourists who want to call out the names of their loved ones and hear it echo back to them. But I'm not going to bother with that because all I want to do is take in this spectacular view.
Other points you can visit are Alexander Point, Louisa Point and Khandala Point for wonderful bird's eye views of the surrounding valleys and hills, dotted with waterfalls in the monsoon.
If you're a shopaholic, you'll find that there's not that much to buy in Matheran. The bazaar is relatively small, but then you don't come to Matheran for shopping. But there are a few locally made products that are really nice, like these leather chappals over here. They're really well made and they're very reasonably priced. You can definitely pick up a pair on your way home. And if chappals aren't your thing, but you have a sweet tooth, there's plenty of delicious chicky and fudge and syrups and jams and jellies, so you'll definitely have something to take home with you. monsoon here in Matheran, so as is expected, I got completely wet in the rain. But I find that just builds up an appetite. I was so ready for a hot cup of tea and some yummy things to eat. And luckily, there's no dearth of places to eat here. There's something for every budget, both in terms of accommodation and places to grab a bite. So, I'm gonna have a feast right now. I've had a splendid time in Matheran. It's quiet, it's peaceful, and it's beautiful. So if you have a long weekend on your hands, I highly recommend that you make a trip here. It really provides such a welcome break from the hustle and bustle of city life. And what's made this trip even more memorable for me is being able to drive this lovely new Hyundai Elite i20. It's not only beautiful to look at with its cool tail lights, it's also just a pleasure to drive. So even though I'm sad to be leaving, I'm super excited to get back behind the wheel. See you next week.